Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? What is today? Wednesday, July 8th. And this is your daily financial news. Before we get into the news, just a couple of quick points. First, remember we need 120 thumbs up on this daily financial video, actually, all of the week. And because you do that, I will give you an hour of my time on Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. Pacific to answer all of your questions. Frankly, at this point, I need some more questions. Last week, they didn't really roll in until Thursday or Friday, so maybe this is to be expected. But leave your questions below because I trust you that we will get to 120 thumbs up. Although Sunday, I think Sunday is July 6th, July 5th, July 5th or 6th, 5th, I think. Good morning, everyone. We're still a little behind. So some of you need to go back to July 5th. I didn't check this morning, but I think it was at 98. So we need to get to 120. If you don't want to talk on Saturday, I understand. But I have every faith we will get there. So again, 120 thumbs up. Do that for me. Second, because of that video Spencer did for us about the channel and about one rental at a time, we've seen a nice uptick in subscriptions or subscribers. So if you're new and welcome to these daily videos, we do them each and every day of the year. And we're actually approaching 8,000 subscribers. So I was wondering if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscription button because I'd love to see that number pass today. I think we're about 87 or so short as of this recording. And then lastly, this one's important. Self-published guy doing all these things for free to give back. And we seem to be stuck at 213 five-star reviews on Amazon. And, we average about 3 or 4 new five-star reviews, but we've been at 213 for several days now. And I need a favor. Go there real quick, 5 minutes, 50 seconds. Just say 5-star, great book, and we'll call it good. All right. Now that that's all behind us, let's talk about the news. And let's start on the good side. Mortgage apps. Mortgage apps were up, if you can believe this, 33% year on year and 5% week on week. So clearly, what we have been talking about for, what would you say, 6 weeks now is happening. The demand is here, supply is still restricted here, and we are going to see price increases if this continues. Of course, some of you out there are going, great, mortgage apps doesn't mean approval. Totally get it. But hey, mortgage apps up 33%. You're going to get some yes answers and move forward. So again, demand is hot. And on that point, just this morning, Taylor MorrIson, a home builder out of Arizona, to be clear, never heard of them. But they're the 5th largest home builder in the country. So maybe I should have, but I hadn't. They saw a record month and a record quarter. Sales were up 94%. Net sales were up 94%. They're in 22 different, actually 11 markets, 22 different communities. And it is interesting, it is interesting to see why people are buying. They did a survey of people why they're buying. And it's what we've been talking about. They want space. Space is good. They have to, they want a place for their kids outside. They want to be able to have that extra bedroom for their office. Folks, this trend is going to continue. It's certainly going to be the trend of 2020. And assuming there is some kind of direct pivot from businesses, this trend will continue out into 2021. So vertical cities, I'm sorry, you are going to see rent deflation. You are going to see value deflation. And the suburbs, man, if you own housing in kind of a secondary market close to a hub, you're going to see some price increases. So I think the majority of the country is going to see some value. Demand, mortgage apps up, home builders selling record sales. And it is, again, I think the single family home, which I think I said for the first time like 3 months ago, is going to be one of the best assets to own over the next decade. So that is interesting. Other things going on. Still a lot of pain in retail, a lot of pain in retail. I guess we'll hit Brooks Brothers first. They have been actively trying to sell themselves to someone. They have filed for bankruptcy, and that's a big deal, at least in my opinion. The company had been around since 1818, 1818. They have seen some stuff, and they're out. They filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And they're almost $1 billion. I was actually surprised they weren't a little bigger. 991 million in sales, 200 U.S. stores, 500 worldwide. So that is interesting. Next up after that, you have Levi's, again, a company that's been around forever. They had a very disappointing quarter with sales down 62%. Um, they they lost $1 billion on the top line, and that is causing them to have to reduce headcount in their corporate offices by 15%. This kind of second order layoffs is what I've been always concerned about. This is what takes it from a V shape to a U shape or a Nike swoosh or whatever you want to call it recovery. Is if we come back off of retail and restaurant, which is very easy to take out and move back. But if this second order takes off, which kind of feels like it is, it's going to be pretty delayed or a long running recovery. So that is something to something to watch. And again, like we talked about yesterday, consumers don't like to hear and be bombarded with case numbers, right? Consumers are fickle, and it is very easy to see individuals make their own decisions that, when collectively done, really impacts our economy, right? We're a consumer-based economy. And just today, another headline, right? 60,000 cases just in the last 24 hours. Certainly not heading in the right direction, although I would tell you a case is, some of that is regards to testing. We talked about 5 months ago, we weren't testing anybody. So very, very interesting time. So we're going to have to see if the consumer is going to be impacted, right? If we go back to the consumer of March, right? We have the data for March. Consumers retreated. They saved like never before. It's possible that happens again if this second wave, the first wave never, I don't know what you want to call it. Everybody says something different. But if the consumers get spooked by what's going on in the Sun Belt, we could save a lot, which would really hit Q3, right? Everybody, I think, accurately says Q2 is going to be the trough, but Q3 will not be the recovery you and I want if the consumer is scared. So we have to watch that. What else is going on? Let's talk about the new stimulus. I think it's time. I think it's still sad, and I'll say it for now, like the 5th day in a row that the freaking government is on summer recess until the 20th or 21st. What the hell? It's just bad leadership. But anyways, from the Senate and the House, obviously bad leadership. Go back to work. Take your break in August. But the next stimulus is going to be talked about. I had a question earlier. Do I think the unemployment benefit will be extended? So first off, I do not think it'll be extended at the current dollar amount of 600. I think there's very little chance the Senate will do that. I do think there will be some extension with a federal bonus. It'll probably be scaled based on unemployment rate, something of that nature. Pretty much the only thing that made me feel good about the next stimulus is there was at least some chatter and talk about helping the people that need it. What do I mean by that? The stimulus that came out where everybody got a $1,200 check was, in my opinion, misguided. We didn't need to take out future debt to help people that were still employed in their 6-figure jobs, right? There were some people that got checks that simply didn't need it. We should be helping the people that were in the most trouble. So I did see one plan that says, hey, let's go help the people who make under 40K. And to me, that would be the people in retail and in restaurants, which will directly impacted most by this. I think something like that makes a lot of sense. Is if you're impacted by this and you can't get back to work yet, let's help those people. So I would like to see something more focused. I think sending out checks to everybody is not a good use of our future. I mean, that's going to be paid back with taxes, folks. I mean, that's just how this works. So let's not mortgage our kids and maybe even grandkids' futures. I'm not down for that. Another thing coming around the corner is it looks like there might be a fight to get schools open. I saw some chatter this morning. I have to dig into it. I didn't see any real meat on it yet, but it looks like ICE wants to have kids, college students. I don't know. I would say kicked out of the country, but that might be too harsh a word. Yeah, kicked out of the country if their classes are all online, and then Harvard and MIT are suing ICE. I mean, I don't know. Why does everything have to be politicized in this environment? I don't understand. Yeah, that I have to read more about that because there must be something I'm not seeing in the headlines. But that caught my attention this morning. That we're going to ask students who were accepted to American universities, who probably worked their tail off to get here, who frankly don't want to take online classes, but because the school has this or that health reason, they're going to do a quarter of online classes, and we want to ask them to leave. That doesn't feel right to me. But maybe I'm missing something. But I just don't feel it. That's right. What else do I got? Oh, I don't know if you saw this, but it looks like Brazil's president was tested positive. I think that's the second world leader. Didn't Germany's leader? I think she had it a month ago. So again, it's very contagious. So it'll be interesting. Brazil is a hot spot for this, so it will be interesting to see what goes on there. And then I guess lastly, just a question for the group. There's been a lot of battle about Mary Trump. I guess she's writing a tell-all book, kind of scandalous book about the Trump family, and I'm curious how many people are going to buy it. Given all the press, it sounds like it's going to be an immediate bestseller. That's it's sort of like soap opera stuff. It's just, but I bet a lot of people are going to buy it. Good for her, I guess. So I'm just curious, anybody out there actually going to buy it? And if you do buy it, send me the summary because I'm not reading that book. But I'll look at the Cliff Notes. So in the end, that's what I got for you today. Remember, we need some 5-star reviews. We're stuck at 213. Remember I'm giving away some money. If you have some kids under 20 and you want them to do something fun this summer instead of playing video games, do me a favor and have them write a book report. They could win $100. That would be fun. And that's what I got for you today. I have some interviews scheduled later. We're at 43 people watching, 14 thumbs up. What are we doing, folks? All right, everybody, take care of yourself. Have a wonderful day. And we will, of course, do tomorrow's financial news around 7:30. Take care. Bye.